Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are going to learn how to compare fractions. We've got 4 success criteria, and the first one is to find equivalent fractions. So a fraction is part of a whole, and in the fraction 3/4, the top number is known as the numerator and the bottom number is known as the denominator. Equivalent means the same. So when fractions are equivalent, they have the same value. This shape is split up into halves, and the purple section represents 1/2 as a fraction. We can find equivalent fractions by splitting each piece into smaller equal pieces. So if we split it into quarters, that means we split it into 4 equal pieces. We can see that 2/4 is equal to 1/2. If we split it into 6 equal pieces, we can see that 3 of the 6 are equal to 1/2. So these are known as equivalent fractions. We can find equivalent fractions numerically, so without using a diagram, as long as we times the top and the bottom number by the same number. So 1/4, if you times the top and the bottom by 2, would be 2/8. So that means 2/8 is the same as 1/4. 3/12 is the same as 1/4. 4/16 is the same as 1/4. 5/20 is the same as a quarter. 10/40 is the same as a quarter. And 15/60 is the same as a quarter. So these are all equivalent fractions because they all have the same value. In this question, we want to find the value of x. So 2/5 is equal to what over 35? So we want to find the equivalent fraction. So we need to think about what have we done to 5 to get to 35? Well, we've times by 7. So as long as we do the same to the top, it'll be an equivalent fraction. So 2 times 7 is 14. So 2/5 is the same as 14 over 35. Here's one for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So for this question, we want to find out 5/8 is the same as what over 24. So we need to think about what we've done to 8 to get 24. Well, we've times by 3. So we need to times the top by 3 as well. So 5/8 is the same as 15 over 24. Here's some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers, there's your amber answers, and there's your red answers. So now we've completed success criteria 1, we're going to move on to number 2, and this is to simplify fractions. So to simplify a fraction means to find the equivalent fraction with the smallest numerator and denominator possible without making them into decimals. So if we want to simplify 8/10, we need to think about what's the biggest number we can divide 8 and 10 by. And that's 2. So I divide the top and the bottom by 2. And that makes 4/5. So we've simplified 8/10 to 4/5. We've not changed the value of the fraction, we've just simplified it. If we want to simplify 16 over 40, again, we can simplify in one go. So we can think about the biggest number that will go into 16 and 40, which is 8. So divide the top and the bottom by 8. So we get 2/5. Or we can do it in stages. So if you struggle to think about what's the biggest number that goes into 16 and 40, you can simplify it more than once. So we can think about a number that goes into 16 and 40 would be 4. So we divide the top and the bottom by 4. So that makes 4/10. We just need to be able to recognise that we can simplify that again by dividing the top and the bottom by 2. So that would make 2/5. Here's some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So you've got your green answers, your amber answers, your red answers, your purple answers, and your pink answers. So the greens made China, the ambers made India, the reds made Belgium, the purples made Brazil, and the pinks made Portugal. So now we've completed success criteria 2, so now we're going to move on to number 3, and this is to compare two fractions. So when we want to compare two fractions, that means say which one is bigger or smaller. So in this question, we want which fraction is bigger, 3/5 or 2/3. So if we think about them in diagrams, there's 3/5 and there's 2/3. If I cut them both into 15ths, into 15 equal parts, we can see we've got 9 out of 15 shaded in this first shape and 10/15ths shaded in the second shape. So that means that 2/3 is bigger than 3/5 because 2/3 is equivalent to 9/15ths and 3/5 is equivalent to 10/15ths, and 10/15ths is bigger than 9/15ths. But sometimes it's not practical to do a diagram, so we need a numerical method. So what we do is we make the denominators the same number. So we think about what number do 5 and 3 go into. So if we write down the multiples of 5 and the multiples of 3, we can see that 15 is a multiple of both numbers. So we can make them into 15ths. Now we just need to think about, on the first fraction, what have I times 5 by to make 15? Well, I've times it by 3, so I need to times the top by 3 as well. So 3/5 is equivalent to 9/15ths. And on the second fraction, what have I times 3 by to make 15? Well, I've times it by 5, so I need to times the top by 5 as well. So 2 times 5 is 10. And now I can compare them, because I know that 10/15ths is bigger than 9/15ths. So 2/3 is going to be bigger than 3/5. Again, on this one, I want to say which fraction is bigger, 7/8 or 5/6. So I need to make the denominators the same number. So I need to think about what number do 8 and 6 go into. And we can see by writing out the multiples of each number that they both go into 24. So I can make them out of 24. Now think about what have you done to the bottom number to make it 24. So what have I done to 8 to make 24? Well, I've times it by 3. So I need to times the top by 3 as well. So 7 times 3 is 21. On the second fraction, what have I times 6 by to make 24? I've times it by 4. So I need to do 5 times 4 as well. And now I can see that 21 over 24 is a bigger number than 20 over 24. So 7/8 is bigger than 5/6. Here's some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. So here are your answers. Here's your green answers, here's your amber answers, your red answers, and your purple answers. The greens made seal, the ambers made moose, the reds made polar bear, and the purples made narwhal. So now we've completed success criteria 3, so we can move on to number 4, and this is to order fractions. So we want to put these fractions in order. Now this one is ascending order, which means they get bigger, so we want to put them from smallest to biggest. Again, to do this, I need to be able to compare them, which means I need to make the denominators all the same number. So I need to think about what number does 4, 2, 3, and 6 all go into. Now they all go into 12. So that means we times the first fraction by 3, so it becomes 9/12. The second fraction by 6, so it's 6/12. The third fraction by 4, so that's 8/12. And the fourth fraction we times by 2, so that's 10/12. And now it's easy to put them in order. So I can see that the smallest fraction is 6/12, so that's a half. The next smallest is 8/12, so that's 2/3. The next fraction would be 9/12, so that's 3/4. And the biggest fraction is 10/12, so that's 5/6. Here's one for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So in this question, we need to make the denominators all the same, so we can make them all 30. That means I times the first fraction by 3, the second fraction by 15, the third fraction by 10, and the fourth fraction by 5. So I can see the smallest fraction is 5/30, so that's 1/6. The next smallest is 15/30, so that's a half. The next smallest is 20/30, so that's 2/3. And the biggest fraction is 21/30, so that's 7/10. Here's some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers, there's your amber answers, and there's your red answers. And now we've completed success criteria 4. So now we've completed the last objective, it's time to end the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found it useful. Make sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out the other videos on the rest of the channel. I'll see you next time. See ya.